First question, why are you running?
Well, I got in the race to get fluoride out of the water. I tried many times to talk before the city commission and the mayor. They apparently either don't understand the science or don't believe it, and they do believe the federal government, which just changed from 1 part per million to 0.7 parts per million after analyzing it for 40 years. I don't want to wait another 10 years and then, oh, well, we're still giving you too much, so let's put it down to 0.5. I have reams of information from scientists, colleges, that indicate drinking fluoride, and it's actually not even fluoride, it's hydrofluorosilicic acid, a waste byproduct of the aluminum and fertilizer industries. So we're putting that in our water. Studies show it's very harmful to children, lowers IQ. York University ADHD problems with children. It's bad for your thyroid, pituitary gland, it affects your bones, on and on and on. So I presented all this research to them, and they, for whatever reason, didn't believe it or just chose to only believe what the federal government says. And my take on that is, if you're only going to parrot the federal government, then why have a local government? So I want to get more in depth and present it to the people and let them make their choice. That's all. And they know why I'm running. Every time I'm interviewed or seen, I'm known as the fluoride candidate. So it's getting out there, and they'll either say, yeah, the science makes sense, we shouldn't be drinking it, use it on your teeth, we have fluoride toothpaste, but we don't have to put it in our bodies.
Well, obviously, if elected, that's your main issue. There's other issues, the city budget. Right now, the folks at City Hall say it's under control, but even admit that you're one economic downturn away from another disaster. So, how would you approach the budget?
Well, I have, again, on my website, I have a post. The title is Want Better Roads, but it goes into the unfunded liability the city has, ranging between $500 million and $1 billion. And this is all tied to city employee retirement benefits and health benefits. I have an advantage. I have a disadvantage. I've never been a public servant, so I don't know all the fine inner workings of how that works. But I have an advantage, I think, because I've been in private industry, and I had a long career. And at the beginning of my career, every company I worked for had a defined benefit plan. By the end of my career, no company I worked for had a defined benefit plan. They all went to defined contribution. And I think the city is lagging, and what you said, the next downturn, it's going to create havoc, because it happened in 2008, and this market since then has been on pretty much 45-degree angle upward, but we all know markets don't go one way forever, and the next hit to the market is going to be a big hit to this plan, and that's a lot of money. $1 billion, and I've actually heard it's even going beyond that now. So, and those figures are tough to determine because it's quite well hidden within the budget. I had a CPA look at it, and it was hard for even him to determine exactly what was going on. So that would be the big thing I would look at with the budget. I'm also probably the most fiscally conservative candidate in the race. So I would look at many other areas as well to try to get regulations loosened a little bit if that would help bring businesses in. And just to look at what we're doing. Everything adds up. Even the fluoride, that's a part of it. We spend $100,000 a year to buy toxic industrial waste to put in our water. So, okay, there's $100 grand right there. I know that's a drop in the bucket, but it's indicative of how many drops in a bucket before you got some water. Get rid of it. So,
Well, one reason why the city budget is stabilized is because of tax increases. The income tax that was extended from 2010 and the millage for the Parks and Recreation Department. 2014, May of last year, when the day after the road tax was passed, I talked to the city manager, and he pledged that it'd be the last time he'd suggest any or support any kind of additional tax. So, as the mayor who would vote on putting any kind of tax increase on the ballot, do you see a situation where you would support an additional tax in the future?
No. I'm in favor of looking. I don't see an ever expanding government. I don't think that's how government should be. I don't think they should keep adding and then going back to the taxpayers and saying, well, we've done this, this, and this, now we're out of money, we need more money. I actually would like to go the other way, and it's 1.5 now, it went there from 1.3, so maybe we could step it back. And if we took care of this unfunded liability, I think there'd be plenty of money for roads, and once we got all that up to snuff, I'd look at cutting taxes, not increasing them. So I would be firmly opposed to increase, to answer your question.
Another matter that has come up across the nation, obviously, and here in Grand Rapids is race relations. There are a lot of groups in the city working to improve race relations in the city. Do you believe this is a major issue? And if you do, what would your approach be?
I do believe it's a major issue. Unfortunately, I think it's being driven by forces outside of Grand Rapids. But I think the one thing I could do that would be very positive would be to work with the police chief and continue to have our police officers think of themselves as peace officers and not turn into some paramilitary type organization that sees the citizens as the enemy. I did write a post on my website because President Obama has proposed federalizing local police forces. And I think I was actually the first one to find that and write about it. And after that, the news media picked it up, and I saw stories that they wrote as well around here. But so I would keep a close eye on that. And I believe it's issues like that where I am on the vanguard of understanding how external issues to Grand Rapids can come to affect Grand Rapids. So I think some of the other candidates look at Grand Rapids more through a microscope, and I look at it as a part of a much bigger function, which is the United States. So.
Final question, open mic. Why should people support you, your candidacy?
Basically, the city has a strong city manager, weak manager form of government. So the mayor is really another city commissioner, but he is the mayor, he's got the bully pulpit. Why should they support me? Because I'm the only one that will fight to get fluoride out of their water. That affects every person living in this city. I've got probably 30 posts on there how it affects children. I went through that to start this. So it's a big effect, and no one else will promise that. I will. I consider it a health issue, and it would benefit every person.